Hey everybody, this is Dave from Free Run Speed. Today I'm going to talk to you about a woman runner who ran a 50K. And the story starts with a United States Marine, includes burning a foot, tripping over a wire, losing a dog, a flooded bathroom, and then the 50K. The woman in the picture is my wife Mary, and the young man in the picture is our son Marco. Mary is a English and history teacher to new Americans who are not English speakers. And our son is a United States Marine. This is Mary's story from last year, training and eventually completing the Marine Corps 50K in Washington, D.C. Mary asked me to write her training program, and it had to include a 2.5 to 3 week break so that she could go on a history trip that she loves to do, and this one was going to the Middle East. And of course, what training program doesn't include running shoes? So she started the training in the Brooks Ghost 10. Before the trip to the Middle East, we also went out and got her a second pair of training shoes, which is the Nike Epic React 2. And finally, we got her a third pair of shoes that could possibly be her choice for the event, the Hoka One One Clifton 6. So all was going great. She did all the preparation getting up to her historical trip. Then she went on the trip. One night, somewhere in the middle of the trip, she decided to go out for a walk because it was really warm in the room where she was staying. And she's walking down the street, steps off the curb into a pile of ashes, fresh, hot ashes. And she's only wearing a pair of sandals. Her foot is burned so badly that it blisters. But Mary, being who she is, says, "I'm not coming home," because she met some friends in the city where she's staying, and they've invited her to a wedding. And what better way to experience the culture of anywhere than go to a wedding? She comes home a week and a half later, her foot completely wrapped up, and she could barely walk on it. Within a couple weeks, the swelling had gone down and she could start to walk and add some running into her walking. Felt confident that she would be able to complete the event, which was in October. In the beginning of September, she's now running fine. I had to do a work trip into New York City for the Fifth Avenue Mile. And on race day, while I'm doing my work, I get a text from her. She was out doing a long run. She felt really good. She was running along the beach, and sure enough, there's a cable, construction cable that's across the road, and somehow she tripped over it and came crashing down on her knee. The fall was so hard that she struggled to get back up, but luckily there was a lifeguard there, and he did what he could to help her out and then put her in his Jeep and drove her home. So now we're about a month out, and Mary has had the burned foot, a bummed up knee, and is still not confident. She still wants to do a super long run. So we keep positive and keep working towards it. Roughly about 3 weeks out from the event, in the middle of the night, our wonderful, beautiful chocolate lab, Nikki, passes away in our family room. At 2 o'clock in the morning, Mary and I drive Nikki down to the pet hospital to say our goodbyes. 2 nights later, we are sad and doing our best, and all of a sudden in the house it sounds like it's raining heavily. Mary's taking a bath. I go out into the garage because it sounds like the rain is just outside in the driveway, and I open the garage door, and sure enough, it's raining, but it's coming from the ceiling in the garage, and it's pouring down onto the garage floor. I run upstairs, and the entire upstairs is flooded, completely flooded. A pipe joint in our bathroom in the sink burst and completely flooded the upstairs, and then the garage, and then it actually came into the kitchen. Needless to say, any one of these things could derail your hopes of running your perfect marathon or 50K. But all of these things put together, it almost looks like an impossibility. But Mary was determined. She'd always wanted to do the Marine Corps Marathon, and now's her chance. They added the 50K in, she got in, and now's her chance to run the 50K Marine Corps event in Washington, D.C. while our son is still a United States Marine. We get to Washington, D.C., and the weather outlook is bleak for race day. This morning we wake up, Mary's still very nervous. She doesn't know if she can even complete the entire event because obviously all these things happened, right? And it's pouring down rain, and it's not super warm. But we head out the door and start our walk around the Pentagon to the start of the 50K, which starts, I think, a half hour or an hour before the marathon actually starts. She had these 2 shoes in her bag. Eventually, she decided to put these on, knowing her feet were just going to be sopping wet the entire time, and she ended up wearing the Clifton for the entire race. I go out on the course, trying to find a spot where I can find Mary as she's coming through, give her some encouragement. And while I'm standing there, I mean, it is pouring down rain. You cannot even see the street. There's so much water. There's a pothole in the middle of the road. And I would say of the 20,000 people that ran by me on that spot, I'd say 15 of them hit the pothole and went falling down. And all I could think of was, Mary's gonna hit that pothole. I didn't see her at that spot, but I was tracking her on the app for the Marine Corps Marathon. And she was actually tracking really fast for the first 10 or 15 miles. I was really impressed with her determination, and she was running ahead of schedule. They have this section at the Marine Corps Marathon, it's called the Blue Mile, where they have huge banners of fallen Marines. We knew going into it that this was going to be a hard mile for Mary. She's the mother of a Marine. At some point during that mile, she actually pulled over to the side of the road and puked. But she carried on and finished. If you are new to running, or if you've been running for a very long time and you are thinking about doing your first half marathon or your first marathon whenever this COVID-19 pandemic is over, just understand there is never a straight line from deciding you want to do it to actually getting to the event and doing it. It takes persistence, it takes some humility, and at the end of the day, you've got to decide, I am going to do this. That's what Mary did. It wasn't the prettiest day, it wasn't the best lead up, but she got it done. Thanks a lot for watching. If you're interested in more of my rambling stories, go to my personal Instagram site at SuperDaveJewell. There I tell about my history in running shoes, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff on there, and pictures of Mary and Marco. Go ahead and follow me on that. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great run today.